All right, so we're back. We're talking about the 9 web design profit accelerators, and today we're talking about accelerator number 7, which is automating your web design delivery. And so this is so important. Do you know there's 3 problems you got to solve in your business, right? The first one is how do you get leads, web design leads. The second one is how do you convert them into high-paying clients, and the third one is how do you deliver websites in half the time but twice the value. And the reality is, when you start getting lots of websites and you start to grow and scale, the delivery becomes a massive chain around your neck, ball and chain around your neck. It can really cause a lot of problems for you. And if you're doing it yourself, you need to start to grow. You need to start to get someone to assist you, because you may be able to do 1 or 2 websites a month, but 3 and 4, 5 and 6, you just can't do. And so I remember that my business, when I first started it, I always had problems. Firstly, I couldn't get leads, and I solved that problem. I'm cheering, I'm excited. Then I realized, wait a minute, lots of leads, no sales. So then I work really hard to solve that problem, and then all of a sudden I solve it, I'm cheering, got all this, sales, money coming in, and then I hate my job. Why? Because delivering the websites became very, very difficult, and collecting content became difficult. Rolling out websites at a high quality became difficult because things potentially were starting to get missed. And it became something where I actually didn't enjoy my business anymore, okay? Successful with leads, with conversions, with income, really unsuccessful with working really long hours, not seeing my family, being grumpy all the time, feeling like I'm always chasing my tail all the time, and I'm never gonna finish my task list. So how did I solve it? Well, I solved it by automating my delivery. Now, automating your delivery, you should start doing it while you're just working by yourself, okay? Because when you hire someone, you can do it at that point, but you basically have to go through the whole process of automating it with the person while they're watching you. You can't just give it to them. So let me show you how I did it, and then you can see if it'll work with you. So the way I automated my delivery is that my goal was to automate, and I created systems to automate all of the processes. So let's go up the top here. Firstly, I made a series of checklists, okay? So I made a checklist for every single thing that I had to do in the business. And so I now use ClickUp. I was using another app at the time. And I just made a checklist of every single thing when it came to installing WordPress, when it came to creating a funnel, when it came to getting documentation from the client. And I just kept breaking that list down and putting them as tasks. So everything became a checklist. My marketing was a checklist. All the things I did around marketing, my accounts became checklists. And that's the easiest way to start. Just put everything into a checklist, into a task management system. The next step is then you create documentation around each task. But I can tell you now, do not do written documentation. You'll never finish it. You'll probably never start it, and it'll take forever, and you'll end up becoming a professional documentation person than actually a website developer. The trick is video. So what you want to do here is I just create a video for everything. And the way I do it is I just do the task and record myself, and then I attach that video to the checklist, the task in the checklist. All right, so that's the easiest way to make it happen, and it happens really quick. That's why what you can do is when you build your next website, you create a checklist for each task, and then you create a video of you doing each task, and that's how you document the process, okay? The next thing is there's processes that you have to group them into. And so there's processes for so many different things internally in the business. And so you want to have your checklist, you want to have your documentation and video, and then you want to take these processes together and group them together. And the most important thing is if you want it to happen in your business, when you do hire someone, you need accountability to those processes. You need to make sure that people are following it. And we're going to talk that into the next video, talk more about that accountability in the team building. And then the last thing is automation. What I did is there's a great app called Zapier. And there's other apps that I use as well, but Zapier is one of them where you can automate tasks. So for example, I record this video, okay? So this video every week, I record like 5 a week. And the only reason I can do it is because I've automated the process. So I have a checklist. So for example, my VA, he follows a checklist. The checklist has videos for every single task in that checklist. And I hold him accountable. But what I do is automation. So basically here it is here. I shoot the video, and then I take that video and I drag it into a Drive folder. And that's it. That's all I do. After that point, there's Zapier takes that and uploads to YouTube, creates a task in ClickUp, and notifies the VA. Okay? The VA then completes a whole bunch of tasks, and that gets pushed, the video gets pushed to social media, gets pushed to YouTube, gets pushed to my blog, pushed to my groups, sent as an email to my list, and a Facebook retargeting ad is created. Now all of this here is all automated. But, it links back to the checklist. It links back to the documentation. And so I just gave you an easy example there, right? But when you build a website, you use the same kind of thing, okay? So tell me, are you overwhelmed by what I just showed you? Or are you excited? Are you like, what? We can automate this? It's actually not hard to do. You know what's hard? Figuring out how to do it. Actually implementing it and doing it is actually quite easy. So for example, yesterday, I'm working with one of my new team members, and we're redoing documentation, okay, because we're using a different CRM now. And so I sat with him on Zoom. We're on Zoom, and I said, here's the task. And I said, this is what you need to do. And I just got Loom, which is a great app to record my screen. I started it, and I just did the task for him. I did the task, and at the end of it, I pressed stop. The task was done. He'd watched it, I'd recorded it, I then put it into my Google site, I then linked that link, so I put the video in Google site, I put that Google site link into the task list, and I will never, ever have to show anyone how to do that task again. So the task might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I've got some that go for 30 minutes building a whole funnel out. But once I build that once, I never have to build or show someone how to do that again. I just say, oh, watch the video in the Google site, that explains how to build a lead magnet funnel. That explains how to install WordPress. That explains how to install all the plugins that we install when we first start a project. That explains how to build a contact us form. That explains how to build a homepage. It's pretty amazing. So as you can see, I am pretty excited about it because I do this every day, and every day I'm recording videos, and it's the first and last time I ever show someone how to do something. The only time I have to update it is if the software changes, okay? And at the moment, we've moved to a new CRM, and so we're redoing those videos, but it's fun. I enjoy it because I know I never have to do it again. All right, so if you are a web designer and you've heard me talk about automating your processes, and you were like, I'm not sure where to start. Sounds great, Marlon. I want to encourage you to book in a scale session with me. And this is basically a 15-minute chat where we're going to go through these 9 accelerators, see which ones apply to you and which ones can get you the furthest to scale your business in the next 90 days. And below this video, around this video, you'll see a button or a quiz where you can fill it in and then book a time in my calendar. Let me just tell you, some of you will take that information and run with it. And some of you will say, Marlon, how can I work with you? And for that, we'll book a second meeting. This meeting, this 15-minute scale session, has got nothing to do with me selling. It's with me assisting you just like I am now through these 9 accelerators. And so book it. You've got nothing to lose. If you've watched this many so far, you can see there's so much that you can do to scale your business. Book in the call. I look forward to speaking to you soon.